was about 12-year-old, I used to speak to these wrestling journalists on the internet, and I would tell them that I was a wrestling journalist and say, oh, I'm a Scottish wrestling journalist, I'm 30-year-old, give me a wrestler's phone number and I'll phone them. I would take my pocket money, right, change it into pound coins and go to a phone box and phone these wrestlers in America. The phone rang and I was like, hi, this is Graham from Scotland, I would like to do an interview with you, is that okay? How do you get my number, bro? I'm a wrestling journalist, I'm just looking to get a few words, is that okay? Dude, don't you phone here again, how do you get my number? And I shat myself and hung up. The reason why I've never ever been booked on big shows is because of my physique. I mean, I've not exactly got the best wrestling body there is, which kind of annoys me because I hate seeing other wrestlers that look like a bag of shite. My first ever training session was when I was 14 years old, which was about 10 years ago this year. But you would never believe I've had 10 years of wrestling training. If you see me wrestle now, you'd probably think I've been wrestling for about 6 months, do you know what I mean? I would stop wrestling every now and again just because I always had a bad match and think, I've stanked that ring out, I never want to do that again. It was embarrassing. When I was at school, obviously, a lot of people heard that I was training to be a wrestler, and there was some people that thought that was really cool, but there was obviously other folk that thought, that is a lot of shite, that's fake, that's gay. And to be honest with you, you just keep your head up and think to yourself, get yourself to fuck. All people really need to do is go on the internet and find a respectable training school out there that will train you to the highest standard.
My real name is Dominic Hepburn. My alias is the UK Dominator. Now, anybody can get in the ring, anybody can wrestle. But that doesn't make a wrestler, does it? What makes a wrestler? People hating you, people loving you. So facials, you know what I mean? If you want a really evil look, it's like you want to look at somebody, you want to make them hate you for that look, or you want to make them love you for that look. Because if you go out to a ring and you don't give the right persona out there, who's going to take to me? Who's going to boo me? Who's going to really look at me? Nobody.
I am one of the wrestlers' mums, Johnny Sicko. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm PWA trainee Danger Dan, and you are unheard. The Danger Dan. That's it.
Look at the child, you go, is this your mum? The child goes, yeah. And she's as ugly as you, mate. You go on the mic and you turn around and you say to you, I've wrestled all over the world, but I've never seen so many fat, overweight people in one place at one time. You say, I have 3 rules before I start wrestling. My first rule, when I tell you to sit down, you will sit down. What do? They get up. Second rule, when I tell you to shut up, you will shut up. What do? They shout. My third and my final rule, you will show me respect, the respect that I deserve. And if you don't, I don't care if you're a 6-year-old kid, or I don't care if you're a 66-year-old old man. I'll come out this ring and I'll smash every one of your faces in. And by that time, you've got them shouting, you've got them screaming. And if that don't work, mate, get out of the business. It's simple as that.
So I call myself Dan, a pretty boy Walsh, of the ladies love me kind of thing.
Whereas my fitness is probably not as good as most people, I make it up with my character. My character's a lot better than most people. I can go out there and change, and I'm that guy.
Yeah, baby! Get out of my face now. This one here, he claims job seeker's allowance.
Well, then I'm a security guard.
Where I come from, Kensington, London, we don't look inbred like each and every one of you. You're looking at the future of WWE. And you're gonna pay loads of money, get all the girls be kissing some of this, and then I won't have to see your faces ever again.
I think I could be a WWE superstar. I think I've got the gimmick, I've got the aura about me, and I want that lifestyle. I grew up watching wrestling, and I was watching them, saying I want to be like them. And so from that age of, like, say 4, I was mesmerised. Most people say that you should grow out of it, kind of thing. But I looked at it more from the business point of view, saying, I want to do that and make money. You know, these guys are, you know, the celebrities, you know. I've always wanted to be a celebrity. I felt in my whole life, I felt like I'm never going to fit in to a normal 9-to-5 style. And that's my motivation and drive to to get out of these kind of shows and get to the next stage. There's nothing wrong with them, don't get me wrong, I've learned my trade and I'll never forget my roots, but there comes a point when you turn around and say, this ain't for me anymore. I don't want to do the lifestyle of most normal people. I want to leave a legacy, that's what I've always said. You know, I want to be in books that people read in, like, you know, 2,000 years saying this was a professional wrestler back in 2000. You know, just, that's kind of cool to me, and hopefully. You ever seen, I don't know if you've seen The Wrestler, the movie? I sometimes feel like it's going to be me if I fell. And it scares me, mate, seeing himself living in a trailer, you know, doing drugs kind of thing, you know, to still living a dream in a sports hall with like 20 people.
I watched The Wrestler up until maybe 2/3 of the way through. I'm just like, yeah, I can't watch this, it's kind of awkward. I got the long blonde hair at the time and stuff, and I was in the gym and some guy walked in and he goes, "You look like Mickey Rourke out The Wrestler." Should I really take that as a compliment, or like, this is the guy who's had like a botched facelift and you're telling me I look like him? It's like, cheers, looks like I've had a stroke on both sides of my face. Like when I was doing like 350 shows a year, me and the persona started getting a little bit blurred at times, and I was a complete and utter arsehole. And I can be honest with that, like, people hated my guts. When you've talked to the other guys, they'll probably say a similar thing like, The Wrestler is just an extension of their personality. Every now, obviously, I'm not a transvestite, but
I want some of this promo on the beach. This is my pal Jordan.
Right.
He films all my promos and edits them and puts them together before we put them on YouTube.
Yeah, I just use my camera phone and some software we got for free on the internet.
So get the fucking phone out and film me. That's your cell! Sport. Just keep going. Maybe wear my bum bag as if it's like my belt.
A belt? Aye.
You remember when you were away and you wanted to grow up and be the biggest sports star in the world? Boxing fans would grow up as fanatics, wanting to fight for the heavyweight title in Las Vegas, Nevada. Tennis, you wanted to verse every cunt in Wimbledon, I'm telling you.
Can't say cunt, it's a PG thing.
PG, fuck. I do.
Obviously it looks better than music all the time, but edit it, but...
Once I get music out, it'll look better. Fuck, I'm cunt. There's a speedboat. It's yourself! I didn't really decide to make it my catchphrase. People just kind of clicked onto it. It's just a kind of quick way of saying, "It's yourself. How you doing? Hi. Here's old Jeannie. It's yourself, old Jeannie. How you doing?" I don't know, when I shout "it's yourself," it's just like something that they can relate to Grado. It's just a kind of sort of like The Rock, where The Rock way he says, "If you smell what The Rock's cooking." I mean, he doesn't actually mean The Rock is actually making something for you to smell it. Do you know what I mean? It's just, he's saying it. It's just his catchphrase. And it's just like me. It's yourself.
Good evening, Sudbury! Welcome to Pro Wrestling Eve! Before we start, I just need to check one thing, and that's, are you ready?
First time ever in wrestling history, twins versus twins. It's Blossoms versus the Owens. Yeah. Oh, see, they have all cool twin poses and stuff. We like baking and cupcakes and British things, because Hannah, Holly.
Yes.
The Blossom twins.
Yes. I spent 5 years around the UK and we've just come back from 2 years in America, in Kentucky.
Whoa, you're tagging with the Blossoms? You better believe it, I am. Hey, I want a cupcake. Get away! That's for Team Cupcake only, and tonight, that's us. Ain't that right, ladies?
Yes.
What do you say we go get ready for this match? What do you say? Woohoo!
We've had a few different outfits, and I think when we went over to America, we decided it would be fun to sort of do more of the British things. So I know, people are going to tell you British as soon as you open your mouth, but it was just something as a way of saying this is where we're from, and this is us taking. Yeah, first time rocking this.
New for this show.
Touch me! I'll punch you in the face, you dirty old git. Dick! What? What? What?
Mouth closed, knob! If you were that important, the audience be facing you, you ugly knob!
Wrestling fans are probably the most unique fans in the world. There's no question about it.
Come on, let's go!
1, 2, 3.
It's what I call a physical theatre. It is a performance sport. It is entertaining through the media of getting hurt almost. That's what I love about professional wrestling, you know, because this is going back to the days of Shakespeare when people would come and see this. We just hit people with car doors instead. When I was younger, there used to be a promotion that came to Irvine, which was just along the road, and there was a women's wrestler on that show called Klondike Kate, and I tell you, she was probably 10 times scarier than any of the men wrestlers that were there. I remember I was watching the wrestling in the crowd with my friends, and I had a bag of popcorn, and I took one bit of popcorn and launched it off Klondike Kate, and the look she gave me haunted me for years.
We're teaching assistants, we're nursery nurses, but it's the contrast at first when people think, oh, you're sweet and you're cute, and then you go and wrestle and it's like, but their kids absolutely love it, and for the kids at school who go, my teacher's a wrestler, it's kind of fun for them.
Heartbreak twins. That's what it is to be called. They're lovely, aren't they?
This is Molly, she's my biggest supporter. She watches all my matches. She's got all my DVDs, my dog. She's the biggest fan, ain't you, hen? Hands are stinking, man. I thought I used to get called Grado in primary school, right? And then I never ever get called it through secondary school. Then I went on a boys' holiday to Magaluf one year, and on the last night, me and my best mate ended up getting chucked at the hotel. So we thought, come on, we'll go and get tattoos. So when I went to the tattoo parlour, I said, put Grado on me, put Grado on me. The next morning, I woke up, I couldn't believe it. I tried to scratch it off. I thought nobody even calls me Grado. There's nothing worse than somebody having a name tattooed on their arm that nobody even calls them. So I was telling everybody, right, you better all call me Grado now, and it's just kind of clicked on, and now everybody kind of calls me Grado, and it's just worked its way into my wrestling character as well. So a stupid night in Magaluf getting a daft tattoo has actually worked out quite well for me.
My son's been into wrestling since ever I can remember. Just recently we went to the Civic Centre, we went to that, and it was a good night, although I wasn't too pleased because he got a chair over his head and he ended up in A&E, so...
Somehow I managed to hit him with my finishing manoeuvre, the wee boot. We started trending with a click of the button 3 tunes wide. We started trending hashtag wee boots to asses. Wee boots to asses.
Just always been like that. We've always said he's going to be on the stage one day. So there he is, he has got his own wee stage.
Just get my gear. That's my wrestling singlet. I've got my toothbrush in there as well because there's nothing worse than wrestling somebody with bad breath. And I've got my deodorant as well. Eye spray and all, there's nothing worse. That's one of the reasons why you don't like it all, because sometimes you can smell the wrestlers, man. Some of them are stinking, man, honestly. Some of them you just want to say, get a wash. Exactly. Honestly, some of the hygiene in British wrestling, man, gives you the bulk. Let's do this. Come on.
Go, Grado, 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 Grado.
I'm bringing the title home. I'll bring the title home. Come on. My girlfriend thinks that I think that I'm famous. She's always like, oh, just because you've put up a couple of YouTube videos doesn't mean to say you're the man, you think you're famous. Because I'll say to her, listen, hey, I'm a Z-lister. I'm a Z-list celebrity, by the way, you know what I mean? She's like, ah, gives a break. My girlfriend didn't even tell her family that I done wrestling. She was that affronted. She was embarrassed, mortified. She just didn't like the idea of me in a leotard, jumping about and kidding on fighting, which is fair enough. She hates wrestling.